You've chosen a podcast from Low Moon Outsiders. Enjoy. This is Low Moon Outsiders. The first time in February 2025. When last we left our intrepid heroes, they had left the relative safety of the inn compound, which has been safe for the better part of 2 days, and journeyed westward through deserted cornfields, past a burnt-out old farmhouse, and a small village that also had been burnt out and ransacked. And then the backside of that remainder of a recently destroyed society, they found a large copse of trees. Wouldn't quite pass for a forest, but it was pretty good size. And in it was a fire set in front of a large rock. And the party got close enough to realize that there were hobgoblins gathered around the fire. A couple of shaman types, it appeared, and a half dozen big bad warrior types. And they seemed to be in the offing of either sacrificing or killing in preparations to cook and eat a young female who looked the worse for wear, but alive. And the party used dancing lights, sent them out, which in the form of torchlights, first fairly discreetly, and then brought them kind of up into view so that the guards would be distracted in that general direction. And so you are at roughly 80 yards from the actual campfire and kind of scattered out in the woods in that general area. And then two of the guards have actually moved out of the light to go and look for what was causing the floating torchlights out in the wood. And two of the remaining four guards have rotated to that side. So that leaves the two shaman who are somewhat engaged in some kind of an existential chant kind of thing going on, and then two guards who have their backs to you that are still at the fire. So two shaman on the far side who seem somewhat out of it, two guards on this side with their backs to you, two guards on the right side that are looking off in the direction of the wood where the lights were seen, and two guards that have actually gone off into the wood some distance. And it was at that point in time that you thought that the best shortly foreseeable opportunity to attack had arisen. There's no sound. Why is there no sound? Okay. And got that kind of sound. Push this, I should get sound. It's very strange. That's another kind of sound. Let's just try something completely different. Okay, that's working now. That's not the right kind of battle, unfortunately. All right, so it is the three of you, plus you have Chiron and Clume with you. Chiron and Lucas were both mounted. I think everybody was mounted during the actual thing, and you could have been, I think you were mounted, right? You were riding a horse, weren't you? Or were you on foot? You were on foot. Okay.
I was dragging.
That's right. Okay, so except for Asturd, everybody was on horseback.
Where did we pick up the horses?
From the inn, yep.
A couple of the horses were hard.
Two of the horses were needing to be broken, and Chiron and Lucas spent time getting them broken. They're not broken as much as you would like, but they were rideable.
Passable.
Basically, he said, if you can break him, I'll sell him to you for a reasonable price. That was the arrangement. So, okay. So, roll initiative! Remember, you are starting at 80 yards from the fire. All right. Several of the hobgoblins in the camp are surprised. So, are you planning on writing down quickly? Basically, you and Chiron gonna rush into their midst, swords slashing?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So that means you will arrive probably at the end of this segment.
Okay.
Okay. Are you planning on launching missile fire from 80 yards, or do you want to get closer?
Which 80 yards? It's not close, is it?
It's short range, not point blank.
I'll do short. I'll fire at the shaman.
Okay. All right. So you can go ahead and take 3 shots now.
3.
Yep. 2 for regular and 1 because if you had aeronauts, you get a free 1 before combat.
Okay.
Okay. Herrick have any missile fire or range that you want to do from 80 yards?
No.
Are you planning on riding in?
Yes, but I will pace myself behind Chiron and Lucas to let them make first attacks and or draw attention.
Okay.
So
10, 11, and 8.
Okay. Are you targeting the shaman, you said? Okay. How are you there are 2 of them. How are you splitting up the arrows? All 3 on one, 2 on one on the other?
2 on 1, 1 on the other.
Okay, so the first 2 on the left guy, the next one on the right guy? Okay. So the guy on the right is a miss. The guy on the left is hit both times.
Okay.
So damage is D6. It's +1 for short range, and then don't forget to mark if you're using your bracers because you're shooting a living target.
Okay.
And I don't think you have any bonuses to damage other than the +1.
Oh my goodness. Each of it is 1d6 plus.
26 +1.
Three and 2 plus 1 is 4 and 3.
Okay. So he is immediately jarred from whatever he was doing, and he stops chanting and looking around to see what happened to him. He's actually knocked down, and so he's only partially visible behind a log and a rock that are in the camp.
The bow has a +2 to hit, +2 damage.
Okay, that adds 2.
After?
Yep.
Add 2.
That adds 2. Yep. So it'll be 6 and 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Chiron charges forward. Lucas charges forward. I believe Clume was riding on the back of Chiron's horse. Does that sound right? So she's going to jump off the horse right before he actually charges into the clearing. Alright, so as we're ending the segment, the 3 horses are breaking the clearing. The hobgoblins are turning. At least you notice that the one shaman that got hit, he's down in the back. He's not dead, but he's down. He fell over a log and is getting back up. The two guys who had their backs to you look pretty surprised. They're turning. They're kind of in a position to defend themselves a little bit, but they're not. They're definitely not moving to attack, or they look a little wide-eyed. At the two guys that are out to the far right, they do not really look surprised. But they're not in the main camp either, where the girl is. And then there's two guys off in the woods, Okay? So as we end the segment, that's when you guys are in camp, so you will not attack that segment. Obviously, weapons are drawn, that kind of thing. Surprise segment 2. If you want, you can re-roll your initiative, or you can keep the same one if it was good. It's fine. Okay.
And mine is I'll wait kind of to late in the round, because I'm hoping if they go in and go past people, those people will turn around following them, and I can hit people in the back if I've got a chance.
Okay. All right. So any missile fire, obviously you're still shooting from 80 yards. So now they've entered the clearing. The only clear shots you have now are the two guys out to the right, or the two guys are off in the woods, but you can only just basically make out their shapes because they're moving back toward the camp. So there is movement. You can see them, but they're more at like 110 yards probably. We're still the extent of short range probably by the time you shoot them. I'll keep you short range. But it'll be easier to shoot the guys you can see, obviously. You can call shot, but if you start called shot now, it won't go off during the surprise segments. It'll just go off faster when you get to the first melee round.
Okay. I guess I'll shoot the two guys I can see.
Okay, you only get 2 shots this time. You're going to do 1 and 1? Mm-hmm. Okay. You're pretty sure 1 is probably not going to kill them. They look a little dense.
Yeah, but hit them at least once, or not. 7.
You're not using the Thor hammer. That's the problem.
Probably not.
So both missed?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 2 more shots. Okay. The shaman who had gone down behind the log has risen, and he waves his hand, and in an instant a field of white, transparent, but white energy forms in front of him. And that's a missile fire. The shaman who had previously been casting now stops casting and is not surprised at the moment, and sparkling little bits of energy, little diamonds of energy plays over him. All right, I'm going to pass you. Oops, actually, I'm going to text you. I can't type. I really should get some sleep. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. We're just going to play it out in here rather than leave the room. So you see the greenish energy sparkle over the shaman who was previously just a moment ago casting spells. And then, Arden, you can roll initiative separately. Yes, I can let you in. And it's been done. Knocking it out. All right? So we go to a new round. It is...
Not at least.
What's that?
I was looking at this character sheet. I was like, test intelligence at half the double any staff effect. Does Lucas have a staff? I was like, oh, this is Dorothy's character sheet. And then I realized that I was only half done filling in Lucas's character sheet. So it still has a bunch of Dorothy's character sheet stuff on it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's really Dorkaless.
Yeah.
Or
Dorcas.
does anyone want salted plain rice cake? Not a lot of flavor, but not bad. All right. You are 20 feet away from him. He is obviously aware of you. You're on horseback. However, your horse is standing very still.
Okay.
Okay.
I will dismount and charge at him.
Okay. You may vault from the saddle per your class.
Yeah.
Roll percentile dice.
18.
Okay.
That's my right roll. I see why I stopped doing this. I can't clear multiple cells at once, so in order to change my high weapon, I have to go through and individually hold delete on every single one to get the text out of it. Oh wait. Never mind. I found the clear button.
Nice. Okay. All right. Actually, in missile fire, make a saving throw versus spell. Dex bonus applies.
Is this the same round?
This is the first round inside.
12?
Okay.
Not very promising. I don't know if these saves are accurate. Admittedly, I don't really know if these saves are accurate either. Spell says 14 at a +1 because of my ring. Dex bonus is +1, which means I made it exact.
Okay. All right. So basically, he throws or shoots something at you across the burning fire, and the flames are striking at you. You block most of it with your shield and take 4 points of damage. Your shield must save versus normal fire, which is, I think, a 2.
13.
No problem. Would you like one of these? That's a
Boston's
lousy,
the pistachio.
a lousy throw.
Hit me dead, man.
He has a better throw, but sorry. Okay. Then we're in melee, and you're charging at him around the fire. Okay. He is attempting to keep the fire between you and him, so you would charge around the left, and he's running around the fire.
Lucas turns and sprints through the fire.
Okay. All right. Oh, that sounds great. Okay, so that'll be an initiative 3. So as you arrive at him, he will claw bite you, and he has initiative, so he'll claw you before your first sword swing. Shield parry, I assume.
Yes.
You successfully do so.
Can I, oh no, this is, can I Flurry?
No, because you're in initiative 3. This is after. That would have had to have happened before.
Oh, okay.
Now, next round you'll be able
I
to.
thought it was just if my initial initiative were
Yeah, you have to be in base contact and your initiative. Because otherwise, you run over there and then flurry of blows. I mean, the whole point is you produce additional openings by your attacks.
Okay. I will swing at him. I rolled a 19.
Definitely a hit.
He's not a giant, is he?
No. He's basically medium sized.
13 points.
Okay. He slashes him badly. He howls in agony. And the hand that he has already struck at you with, he clutches his chest and then slashes at you with the other hand. Ooh, and this time he'll hit. For 5 points. And
He must have rolled hot.
he did.
Great.
And then he has a bite as well. And he'll miss. Okay. Ends the round, correct?
Is someone else?
Nope, just you.
All right.
You and him. That's it. You don't even know how you got here. Yet. You'll
I have
show.
a guess.
Oh, excellent. A guess is good. It's as good as an answer until it's wrong. Okay. Then we'll go to missile fire. Okay. So in missile fire, he both hands towards you, and a sheet of flame surrounds you, and you take 6 points of damage. No save. Also, your armor, sword, shield, helm all have to save versus magical fire.
Armor? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that 10 makes the save.
Probably, but I'll be there in 1 second.
It is magical armor.
Metal hard, magical fire is a 2. So they're all going to be a 2.
No. How many more?
Cloak. Do you have a cloak?
I have a tabard.
That'll work.
16. Magical tabard.
Yeah, probably. I'll find it. Oh, made it exactly.
Well, you should have a bonus.
It might, but you made it on the roll exactly.
Okay. What else can I do with my +3 Mastercraft gauntlets?
No.
Backpack would be shielded.
Yeah, enough.
All my amulets and stuff are probably under my armor.
Okay, I'll say that's it then. All right, and then we're in melee. What is your initiative?
5.
He has beaten you on initiative again. So he's going to start with the claw. He's actually scared for his life at this point, but not much you can do about it. He missed. You're up.
Okay. I will attack him. I will flurry of blows first. I make a check. I get 2 attacks instead of 1.
Okay.
My first roll is a 6. I'll do some math. 13. AC 2, I want to say.
Is it AC2?
So I'm 6th level.
That's 15. Strength bonus 3.
3 plus.
Makes 12.
Or no, plus. Yeah, 3 and then plus 3 from the sword and then plus 1 from
Weapon of choice.
weapon of choice.
That's 11. What was the sword?
Plus 3.
That's 8. So you need 8 to hit AC 0.
I have a 6. So AC 2.
That is a hit. Damage.
12 points.
Ugh. Okay. He caves over backwards, and the withdrawal ends. Okay. So what everyone else sees is the shaman triggers some kind of a spell. There are little diamonds of energy that form around him. And then the next thing you know, he has moved from where he was on the other side of the fire to over to the right. And Lucas is standing over his dead body with his sword and armor covered in his blood and looking a little scorched. smoking, basically. Okay. And
It is nighttime, right?
it is, yes. And we are in melee 9, 8, 7, 6.
I'm at 6.
Okay. So the two guards that were on the edge are charging towards you. They're probably 10 feet away.
Turn and meet them, I guess.
Okay. You're looking right at it. Because the shaman is below you. You look up, and here they come.
Countercharge.
Okay, yes, you countercharge. Right? So you will arrive, both of you will arrive in 5, and initiative will be simultaneous.
So no flurry this round since I technically wasn't in base-to-base combat?
Correct.
What if I just delayed my initiative until 5, and then I'll be in base-to-base combat, and then when I move over, I can flurry?
I guess technically that would work, yes.
I'll do that then.
Mind you, they do have spears, so they'll have reach.
When they're charging, because I can like double damage on the spear.
Yes.
But if I countercharge, that wouldn't change anything.
Nope.
I don't think anything changes. So I may as well just do that. Like, they're gonna have reach anyways.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they stay back away and kind of poke at you from a distance, it could affect your flurry of blows.
Because you'll have to move into there.
Well, I still think it doesn't make a difference. This way I have a chance to get flurry of blows, and the other way I don't. So I
Makes sense to me. Okay, let's go. We're going to do this. Switch to this music. Interested in giving financially to Low Moon and support the campaign? Text LMGIVE. That's LMGIVE to 419-419-0095. Okay, how about this music? Some of them work and some of them don't. I don't understand why. Okay. All right. The spearmen descend upon you. You successfully shield parry one of them. The other one is close. What is your actual AC? -2.
-2 is correct.
He missed. Okay. Clashing of weaponry against steel, and you may return fire.
I roll for flurry of blows.
Because they charged this round, you will have flurry of blows.
Okay. Made the check. 3 attacks. First attack. I'll go with the guy on my right. With my the shield guy, shield side guy.
You notice that he has been missed by an arrow previously.
13. I need, what did you say it was? 11 to hit AC 0?
8.
No, 8. So -5.
Is a hit.
18 points.
Okay. He's still there.
Second attack.
Same guy?
Yes.
Okay.
-11.
Definitely a hit.
12 points.
Okay. What was the first one? 13?
18.
18 and 12 is 30? Okay, he's going down. All right. Slam,
Is
slam!
my third attack onto the second guy?
No. Generous, but I'm not that generous. Right like this. Ha. Okay. And alright. We were in 6, nearly 5. Okay. Clume sets upon one of the hobgoblin guards and Chiron the other one. Tiny die. Blink. Blink.
So are all of the cavalry's horsemanship rolls the percentage roll?
Yes.
Okay. Have it just sitting there.
Huh? clearing is lit as lightning leaps from Clune's dagger to strike the guy that she is fighting. Chiron also strikes. I'll kill his guy. And initiative 5, melee. 4.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got Chiron has the one guard, Clune has the other guard. Those are the two that were on your side. On the right side, Lucas has the 2 guards that were coming back into the village, that are back into the clearing. There are 2 more that you know that went into the woods. There's 1 shaman dead and down that Lucas killed, and there's 1 shaman behind the log who is alert and fighting. He did a spell this round. So he is your only very logical target.
I will ride over / through / past him.
Okay, you're going to ride the man down. Ride him down. All right, so first of all, make a ride check. Horsemanship would be.
That would be a 1.
That's good. That's a good one. I rolled a 2. All right, so you did not do as well as you thought. Okay, and you may roll to hit with a spear, and it is considered charging, so if you hit, you'll do double damage.
Number of knots.
A 14, 15 for the spear, so AC.
That'll hit. 6 plus bonuses times 2.
This is a weapon. This is a weapon too.
So 4 plus 1 is 5, times 2 is 10.
That's not right.
Okay, so you bury the spear deep in his chest. It's clear that he was already significantly wounded, and his eyes roll back in his head almost immediately. Roll a percentile dice to see if the spear is stuck.
25.
That would be a yes. So the spear is currently embedded in the chest of the hobgoblin.
So I will let go rather than being pole vaulted from the saddle.
So you're critical. There we go. Maybe this would be more better. Okay. Anyway. So he is definitely dead. And then you say you're doing what?
I'm going to let go of the spear so that I don't get pole vaulted from the saddle.
All right, yeah. So there is a large rock mound that's behind the clearing, so you have to steer the horse to get him to turn past. Also, you have to be careful. As you turn to the right, that's where the girl is, so you don't want to ride her down.
No.
So make a ride check.
That would be an 18.
You did fine. So you turn to the right, and there's just enough space for you to kind of go behind where she's at. And then you have to basically stop because the rock curves like this, and you park the horse front end in, and then you stop. And he rears up a little bit, but neither of you run into the stump. So you're able to stop him. Okay. So both shamans are now dead. That's not good for them.
I realize I'm just carrying a spare set of bronze plate. I'm really gonna get hit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how realistic that normally is.
I know.
Especially since all that treasure we're carrying. You might want to say you already got rid of it.
I mean, I could have at some point.
You were carrying like a giant bag.
Soldier days away.
Lost it when we lost one of our
Just
horses.
assume it's not actually there. You don't really remember what you did with it.
I will color it, or I will say that it is missing.
That brings us to a new round. Initiative. Chiron's combatant is not dead. Klume's is. The 2 on Lucas are not dead. You killed the one guy. The 1 on Lucas is not dead. And the 2 in the woods are missing. Okay? Missile fire. You really don't have any clear targets, except possibly the ones that are in the woods, and you don't see them at the moment. You can shoot the guy that Lucas is fighting, but you'll be firing into melee if you do that. Which means there's a chance if you miss, you hit him.
So there's only 3 left?
There's 2 left in the clearing. 1 is fighting Chiron, and 1 is fighting Lucas. Chiron's still on horseback, Lucas is on foot. And then there's the 2 that went off into the woods after the dancing lights, and they did not come back into the fight. They're out there somewhere. I mean, you could hold for now, wait and scan the woods and see if they show up. Because they're probably coming. They're probably just being more discreet about it rather than just charging into the fray. Or they could turn and run. If they turn and run, shooting them wouldn't be bad because they could be going for reinforcements, or certainly could inform someone of your position.
I guess they'll just hang out by the woods.
Arrow notched, looking for a target, basically. Okay. All right. So you're holding for the moment. I don't have any missile fire. Okay. So we're in melee. Melee 9. 8, 7, 6. Okay, you have 6.
Am I able to roll warrior blows on the last again?
Yes.
Roll. 1 attack.
Happens.
16 to hit.
That'll hit.
16 points.
Okay, he's still there, but he is hurt.
I do have a second attack after the attack.
What was that? Sword critical. Okay, he returns fire. He missed. You can go ahead and take your second attack.
AC -1.
Hit.
11 points.
And he goes down.
Did I spelling tabard wrong 2 times? Is it? It is 400, 1 people?
Yes.
Okay. Chiron and his guy exchange blows. Chiron gets a second attack. Rolled horribly poorly. Klume will assist. Nice. Check out The Moment Blood Bowl wherever you buy books. This is written by Pastor Daniel Stevenson, the longtime author and game master of Low Moon Adventures. Dagger hits. Nice and juicy dagger hits. Electricity flies. He goes down. So there are no living hobgoblins in the clearing. Okay. In initiative 4, a hobgoblin pops up in front of a stirred at about 12 feet. He has a one-handed axe. He jumps up out of the bushes, basically. He has an axe in his right hand, and war paint on his face, and he is charging towards you. If you cannot be surprised because he came up right in front of you, you can shoot him before he gets there. So roll a d8, do not roll a 1.
7.
Okay, so you may shoot him. This will be point blank range. So you'll get the +2 for point blank range, you get ×2 damage, and then add the bow after that.
3.
Okay, so 3 + 2 is 5, ×2 is 10, +2 is 12.
Oh.
Okay. And then he shudders under the impact of the bow. But he is still coming. The arrow is sunk 10 inches deep in his chest. He swings the axe at you. He'll hit. 3 points. Hold on, plus bonus. 6 points total. And now he has engaged you in melee, which means unless you can find a way to get away from him, you cannot use your bow. However, hand axes draw very quickly, so that's your normal backup choice. Also, you realize that the second hobgoblin who was missing is out to your right, and he is charging you as well. And he has a spear, and he'll miss. Okay, so you've been engaged by 2 hobgoblins. One's right in the front of you with a hefty arrow wound in his chest, bleeding badly. The other is on your right-hand side. He has the one that just charged in has a spear. Okay. I mean, you should be more than a match for him. You just got to get your feet under you. Okay. That ends the round. In the clearing, all of the opponents have been dealt with. However, you do hear sounds of fighting in the woods. A battle cry. Striking of weaponry. You look in that direction to see a stir dancing away from a couple of foes. We'll roll initiative.
End of that round, I was just going to go to the captain.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Freedom.
Okay.
I went into.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so you drop down. Do you have healing?
I do not
spells,
have
but-
healing, but I have the spells.
Yes. Okay. So I mean, you assess her. She's pretty scuffed up, pretty dirty. She's wearing a dress which is pretty much turned into a Wilma Flintstone kind of thing because it's so shredded. She's barefoot. She has what looks like the remains of a sandal on one foot, but there's nothing under her foot. It's just the lacing around her ankle and down. She has a bruise on the side of her head. You don't really know enough to know for sure whether she would be conscious or not if it were not for she is sleeping. So maybe she's either unconscious or drugged. Yeah, she's either unconscious or drugged. Okay, but she is alive, and she is not actively bleeding to death. She doesn't have any open wounds that are she has bruises. She's bleeding under the skin, but no cuts. Okay. You can untie her feet and hands.
Yeah, I'll at least get it down.
She looks like she's in her late teens, and she's probably about 105 pounds. You could easily lift her. She can't be more than 5'2". She has blonde hair, but it's dirty, so right now it almost looks brown. But you can tell it's dirt. There's mud in it, like that. Okay. So are you attempting to lift her or attempting to heal her? Or some other course of action?
For now, I'm just gonna basically lay her someplace safe. I'll throw my cloak over her, and I'm gonna just kind of stand guard for the moment.
Okay. If you can scoot her back into that alcove and move the horse out a little bit, and then cover her up for sure. Let's see. She does stir, but she does not come to wakefulness. Okay? You do notice, however, just as at that point you realize there is a deep green ivy plant, viney plant that's growing on the surface of the rock, in the cleft of the rock and up and around. You can see it up there. It's like reflecting the yellow of the fire pretty good. Down here, it's like deep and in shadow. It's quite a bit of it. It's a creeping ivy of some kind.
Identify it, since I can identify parts of it?
You can. It does take a round to get a good look at it and so on. So that'll be your action for this coming around.
Sure.
Plus situating the girl.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
4.
So two things. One, it is it's a commonly called forest ivy. It doesn't need a lot of sun to grow, and it tends to grow proliferously in areas of low to medium sun. Hardy plant, and doesn't need much soil either, so it tends to grow on the surfaces of trees or like a rock bluff or things like this. Perfect environment for it. But separately, your level 4 spell volunteers to activate.
I will allow it, since it's unlikely to cause anything harmful
Okay.
to me.
Alright, so we'll flash back to that in a minute once we get the combat caught up. Alright, meanwhile... Okay, so we did roll initiative for the new round. I mean, missile fire. We will have none. Okay, so we'll go to melee. 9, 8, 7. Okay. Alright, so Sturgis in 7, you have 2 guys right in front of you. In 7, you are aware that he is fighting up there. Mind you, he's 80 yards away, so uphill through the woods. You hear sounds of fighting.
And there's no other enemies?
Nope, you killed all 4 guards and both shaman.
Lucas is gonna run.
And he has the girl and is protecting her.
Lucas is gonna run to Australia.
Okay, start running up the hill.
Actually, he'll call the horse. The horse is right there, right?
Yeah, but the horse is not... It's a little bit away. It's like 15 feet, but it's also not very well trained.
Okay, so he'll...
You could easily run over to it as long as it doesn't run away. You could run over and grab it. It's like 5 steps.
Sure. He'll do that, and he'll vault into the saddle. And then he'll
Okay.
All
All right.
Should be able to do it.
You are certainly skilled to do it. Whether or not the horse will respond poorly remains to be seen. So anyway, you run over and vault in the saddle. So what was your initiative?
7.
So you would land in the saddle in 5. Go ahead and roll your ride roll and vault in the saddle. It is half the normal chance.
18.
No problem. Okay, so he is definitely skittish, and basically he balks and kind of stomps and moves to the right away from your vault, but nonetheless you land in the saddle and become firmly in the saddle, because a failed vault roll, oftentimes you're just considered loose in the saddle, which basically means you can't maneuver the horse, and if you're hit, you're much more likely to fall down. And you are on the horse. Okay, so in 5, you could proceed. Chiron has a 6 on initiative, and he wheels the horse and starts to charge up the hill as well. Okay, back to Asturd. You're in 7. You've beaten both of them on initiative. You can draw and use hand axes essentially immediately because you strap them to your chest. If you're splitting your attacks, you would actually have 2 different initiatives. If you're planning on attacking the same person twice, then you just say, take the bright guy and attack him twice. Instead of, you don't have to roll 2 separate initiatives if you're going to attack one guy. So you can attack one guy twice, or if you go on the guy that you already shot, you're pretty sure he's already pretty badly hurt. You might be able to take him out. Okay, so you've actually doubled his initiative, which means you can draw both hand axes and attack him before he can attack you. So go ahead and roll twice to hit. You are exposing your flank somewhat to the other guy. Okay, so the 4 is almost surely a miss. The 9 might be close. So you have 9. Do you have a strength bonus? Or anything with that hand axes? What is your strength now?
18.
18 what? Should be 18 something, right? 1811? Okay, so sounds like +2? That sound right to hit? You say +2 to hit?
1811 +1.
That's +1 to hit, okay. So you rolled a, what did you roll, 9?
Yeah.
So that puts it at 10. And then, any other bonuses with the hand axe at all? Or is that it?
Adjustment 3 +3.
Yeah, I'm looking for to hits. So it sounds like that's a miss. Because your current fackle would be 15, so you had AC 5, which they're a little better than that. So, okay? So the guy with the spear missed. He attacked you from the side and missed. And then this guy is claw bite. No, he has an axe, I'm sorry. Or he has the axe. So he's going to attack with the axe. And he'll hit with the axe. And he'll hit for 7 points of damage. So you are being thoroughly engaged by these hobgoblins. At least now you're armed. Axe hit.
Once you get to 1851,
Some slashing goes on. Hand axes miss. Okay. Alright, so the reinforcements, you hear the hooves of Chiron's horse charging up the hill. So he is coming to your aid. And then not far behind him, Lucas is also coming. So you only need to survive for a little bit here. So neither of you will make it there in that round. So you'll roll initiative in the new round. You'll have a -1 on initiative. Include your dex bonus, though.
5. Could I switch from my sword to my mace while I'm running?
Only if you're going to throw the sword down.
Am I passing anybody?
No.
I guess that's fine.
I mean, it's just going to lay on the ground. So, alright, so you throw the sword down and switch to the mace as you arrive. Chiron does not. He sticks with his sword. And then, what was your initiative with the -1?
5.
Okay, so Chiron will actually arrive first. He's just going to ride by so as not to block you out. Did you roll initiative, Ricky? Yes, you already attacked twice, so we're in a new round, yep. Okay, are you still attacking the same guy twice? Okay, so you have doubled his initiative again, and you beat Chiron on initiative, so you go first. So you take one axe, and then Chiron will strike, and then you'll take the other axe, and then if the guy's still alive when we get to his initiative, he'll take his attacks. So go ahead and take your first axe.
Cool.
If it what? Is it cocked? If it's cocked, just re-roll it. That's a hit. Okay, so axe hit. And it's D6 plus your strength bonus. Roll a 4 on the D6?
Yes.
Okay, alright. So the axe clips off the corner of his head and then smacks the tree. And he bounces off the tree himself and then sags down, clearly unconscious. Chiron sweeps through and will attack the other guy, the spear guy. Spear guy. Chiron will miss. And then he's going to wheel the horse around and come back for another pass later. Okay. And then Lucas comes through. You there, Arna? Okay. So you are coming through in the second half of the round and may roll to hit. One shot on the bugbear that is attacking a stirred. There's only one left because the stirred took the other guy out. 12 hits. Damage.
Are considered large?
No. They're hobgoblins and they're medium sized. I might have said bugbear again. I didn't.
Yeah.
They were hobgoblins, though.
They are hobgoblins. I just say bugbears sometimes. It's a big difference, actually, because hobgoblins are high-tech and not considered giant class, and bugbears are considered giant class. It's a big difference.
Yeah, well, and bugbears don't hang around hobgoblins, but tend to bully goblins.
Yeah.
Why don't they hang
do
around
not miss.
hobgoblins? Because hobgoblins don't seem highly to bully.
No.
14 points possible.
And they organize.
And if I can remain in combat, I'm 2 to 1.
It'll count as remaining in combat. Go ahead and roll the second attack. And he was going to try to spear you, but missed.
15 points.
Okay, so he takes two hearty smacks from the mace, and crumples to the ground. Mace. We'll use this. Okay. And the excitement of combat drains away as all the hobgoblins have been killed.
No mace training.
Yep.
I will.
And you should have led with the mace. Then you would have done sword training.
Right. See, the sword training is it's a lot harder to switch to the sword mid-combat. You lead with the sword, and then you switch to the mace mid-combat because you can get it quicker.
Okay.
The first thing Lucas does is retrieves his sword, and then he will go check on the girl, which I assume Chiron is.
Okay. Roll percentile dice. On a natural 0-1, you can't find it easily.
33.
No problem. It's laying right where you dropped it. So on a 1 on a d20, you accidentally killed a squirrel. No, but almost. Rolled a 2.
God.
Where is my mace? Darn pseudo dragons.
Yeah.
Or leprechauns.
Okay. So what do? You cast a
What
spell.
did my fourth X do?
I'll get there in 1 second. Imagine it's going to take a minute. What does a stirred Chiron and Lucas do? You're getting your swords. We got that covered. What are you doing? Bow's back. Chiron offers to give you a lift back down to the camp if you want. Swing up behind him. Down the hill you go. On the way there, you see the Clume has turned around and he's going back to the camp. She never made it up to the upper fight. Actually, she'll go get the pouches off of the hobgoblins that died in the woods. All right. So you have 6 pouches from hobgoblin warriors and 2 pouches from hobgoblin shaman. Okay. It is nighttime in the woods.
Is the girl okay? Did we?
Yes, he had already captured. All right, so as you're heading back over there, you see that he appears to be communicating. So the spell is clearly allows you to speak with the ivy, and it is generally pleasant ivy. And basically he says, "What do you want?" Oh, poor girl.
Are you aware of any herbs or flowers that might help her? I don't think you know much about humans.
Not a lot, but I know there are herbs in the wood. A variety of low-lying plants, past my shadow and toward the pond. Much evil is afoot this night. Have you come to right the wrongs?
As best we can.
You shall have to hurry.
We really just came looking for trouble.
When dawn comes, the hobgoblins will destroy the village. It's for certain. The shamans have said as much.
Do you know how many?
He says, they are spread out in the wood in many places. Each will spill blood to fertilize their battle lust. Over this night, and then with the dawn, they will take more captives. A far-off ally of mine, a great willow tree that has passed my shadow many days, saw this very thing occur in his wood. And again until there were no people left. No children's laughter. No cows to make the seedlings grow quickly. No roosters to call the younglings from their beds. It is a sad day in his wood, and soon it shall be in mine. Unless you are successful. For you did say you have come to stop the evil.
I will convince my companions and we will do all that we can.
I can give you an idea where all of the groups are staying. If you stop the sacrifices, you will stop the attack. But time will grow short.
If you can tell us where, we will go.
Only one is far. All of the others. For your great metal-clad beasts. Not so far away. The girl stirs again and she says, who's there?
Don't worry, girl. You're safe for the moment.
Oh, thank the gods. And you hear the others are all coming into the camp at that point. Horses' hooves, snorting horses. A stir jumps down from the back of Chiron's horse. Gloom comes into the clearing last. The fire continues to burn.
Chiron, the girl could use your skills.
Absolutely. Glad to be of service.
We don't have long to dawdle. The Ivy is telling me that there are more sacrifices. And if we don't stop them, the hobgoblins will destroy the village before day falls, or before the day falls.
Before the sun rises, the Ivy corrects.
Before the sun rises.
Clune says, excuse me, did you say the Ivy is speaking to you? And she takes one of the leaves in her hand and kind of rubs it.
Yes, it's something that I've just learned.
The Ivy says, To everyone else, it just seems like the plant kind of ruffles bizarrely, like some of the leaves just kind of ripple and move when they shouldn't. There's really no wind here. And the ivy says, this one has the blood of dragons in her.
She does.
That is not always good. Some dragons are trouble, some dragons bring trouble. I have known none but two kinds. The top side and the bottom. The under and the over. Some bring trouble, some are trouble. What's it saying?
It can tell that you are what you are, and that he knows only two kinds. Those that are trouble and those that bring trouble. And then up to him, I say. She is a third. Although she does bring some trouble, she does her best to also do some good.
Clume chuckles and says, I think I am both. Some days I am trouble, some days I bring trouble. Maybe that's what he means.
As pleasant as this plant soiree is, I really think we should get going.
As soon as Chiron is done with the girl.
At that point, a greenish glow emanates from the area where he is laying hands on her. And it's faint intonation of magical power. And she looks much better. I feel much better. You look much better. Clume fetches some extra clothes out of a sling bag. Chiron says, you brought extra clothes with you out here tonight? Sure. I mean, you never know when you're not going to make it back, or like your outfit gets soiled or something. He rolls his eyes.
I brought pretty much everything I own.
I left most of my luggage in the inn. I thought we were going on a quick adventure. I didn't realize we might be camping out overnight.
I brought my backpack, but I did leave some things. I mean, you're going out into the wilderness to look for trouble. Sometimes you get stuck or have to bury a body. I don't know.
Are you saying you brought a shovel?
Not particularly, but you plan to spend the night.
Mm-hmm.
One time, me and a friend of mine had gone out on a patrol at the keep, and he was eaten by giant centipedes. And I hid in what must have been, an old foxhole that had sort of collapsed for the night and then returned in the morning.
Were you grown? Or was this an adventure when you were a child?
I was grown. This was...
Doesn't sound particularly courageous.
Well, it was 150 years ago, and I had just begun training. It was a weird place.
While he's doing this, I'm getting directions from the ivy.
The ivy is also bored by this conversation and has begun to share with you the locations of the sacrifices. Okay. So basically, everything, all of the directions are having to do with what he calls his shadow side, which after you get several of them, you realize he's talking about past the rock. So basically, his shadow side is the direct opposite direction of his growth. So he's growing out the rock and up the rock on this side. That way, which... Do you have direction sense?
I believe that I do. too many pages. I do have directions.
Okay, so that is west. So the westward direction, and you are at the furthest east of the 6 locations, and basically they are ringing a certain human settlement, which is somewhat fortified. But each of the 6 locations has at least one sacrifice. And then the bulk of the hobgoblin force is inside those 6 locations. And so you'd be working in the back, if you will, of the forces to take out the sacrifices. And if you are successful in taking out enough of them, then the hobgoblins will probably be more concerned about you than they would be taking out the village. But from what the Ivy is saying, and it doesn't do numbers well, 2, it's good with 2, it's got 2, yeah, but it doesn't do higher numbers well. But by your estimation, you would say there are 6 locations, each one's kind of described. The furthest one of which is on a ridge, and it's on the direct opposite direction. So to get that one is going to be like an hour or more ride, and you can't go directly there because you would be crossing the quote-unquote army and the village. So you're going to have to go around, so that's probably going to make it more like 2 hours, and you'd be passing other locations as you go. So in theory, you would take care of them more systematically than that. But that's going to be the hardest one, is the point. And then, so he's made it pretty clear there are 6 locations, and he's just estimating by what he's getting from other plants and like that in the wood. And he says that the forces of each location and where the sacrifices are taking place are roughly similar to what was here. But the army that will take the village is as many as the stars in the sky. And you look up and realize, the wood here is 80% canopy, so that might not be that many, but it sounds like a lot.
Probably not tens.
He probably doesn't see too terribly many stars, but enough to make you worry the numbers. At some point in time, you probably get a sighting on the forces. So you also, none of you are from this area or know anything about the village in question or its ability to withstand the attack. It does say it's fortified. There's a wall. The roads in the village are, he describes them as hard packed, so probably gravel or something like that. No vegetation. He obviously has a fondness for humans, especially children, and does not like the idea of them being wiped out by the hobgoblins who are perceived evil. Disrespectful, at least.
Do not nurture north.
So at this point in time, you're talking about, if you rode to each location and were only there for 10-15 minutes, you shouldn't have any problem, except possibly really the 3 that are the furthest away will start to be a problem.
Well, if we ride and if we split up, we could go around.
That's true.
Otherwise, if we go around, it's actually the one that's here that's the furthest away.
Yeah, so the first 2 are on this side, and you could probably, you could go to one and then go to the other with relative ease. But then the other 3 are all kind of on the other side of the village in a sort of.
So they're not necessarily.
It's not unilateral, no.
Okay.
In fact, it's not even a circle, based on what he's describing.
Gotcha.
It's just, and the directions aren't great. They're like at the bottom of the grove, past the white lilies, go past the big rock that's flat on top and has lichens in its shadow, and but you do know that they use fire and torches and that kind of thing. They have ultravision, but the ultravision has a limit as far as how useful it is under certain circumstances. So they'll probably burn the sacrifices which means they'll probably have fire. Then he'll tell you that all 6 locations currently have fire.
So
5 now.
So 5 other locations.
Actually, let me see. 1, 2, yeah, 5.
2 are on this side of the village. The other 3 are more distant.
Were you injured?
It'd be an hour if we went straight across, but probably closer to 2 if we
I should
go
take a
around
look at
to
your
the
wounds while we have
farthest.
time. Sounds like we're going into more trouble.
Main goblin forces are in the middle. So we kind of need to go around the outside. Yeah.
3, 6, 7. 7 points.
Forces should be pretty similar to us in terms of
What does he get?
how many hobgoblins we're talking.
Oh, is he 44 now?
4 hobgoblins, 2 shamans.
Hmm?
4 hobgoblins, 2 shamans apiece.
I don't think so.
There were six guards and the 2
You
shamans.
have to have level 5. Does he have level 5?
The number of shamans numbers vary. He's not very good at identifying
Okay, well,
things.
you
And
got 13 so far, plus 5.
he
18.
doesn't really count. As to the forces inside, the main forces, he said more than the stars in the sky, but it is kind of forested here.
Yeah.
But I think Lucas would agree with me that when you start talking hobgoblin forces, it can easily get into the hundreds.
On the low end. If you're talking about an army, I'd be shocked if we saw less than 750.
And this isn't the first village that they've done this to. He spoke of one of his good friends, a willow tree, that they did the same thing and removed all the human population.
Well, what's the closest one? 2 hours away?
No, closest one, probably 15, 20 minutes.
Let's go.
And 2 on this side and 3 on the further side. If it comes down to it,
Would it make more sense to split up?
I don't think so. Not terribly. Although,
It might be necessary toward the end if time is running short.
and if it gets to the end, in terms of the furthest one away, I can always turn into a goal and get there pretty quick.
Okay.
And I do have some spells that would give me a better chance.
Clem says, while you were finishing talking with the ivy and so on, I've talked to this young lady. Her name is Lufa. She is from the farm town that we saw on our way here that was wiped out. And she said that there were others from her village taken, and they were together for a while. And then the hobgoblins parted them out and took them in different directions. And they couldn't understand what the hobgoblins were saying because they don't speak their language. But she's pretty sure they were all taken in different directions. But there were more than 6 of them.
More than one sacrifice per group, potentially.
Right. Question is, she's really in no state for us to take her along. I mean, she's essentially a non-combatant. It's an hour back to the inn, easy on foot, across potentially dangerous territory.
Would you be safer here?
Not if the hobgoblins had looking for the spores.
There will be messengers probably sent at some point in time. There'll have to be some kind of communication to say, okay, we completed our sacrifice, we didn't complete our sacrifice, something like that.
I'll ask the ivy if it's aware of any cave or hidden place that this girl might hide and not be easily found by the hobgoblins.
Okay. He says she could go back to the village. There are many hiding places there, places where dark things grow. Safe from the hobgoblins, probably, at least for the short term. Or back to the farmhouse on the edge of the field. No one else can understand what the Ivy's saying, so
I'll say that.
she says, I don't want to slow you down, especially if you're going to save the others. I can make my way to the inn. I think I know the way through the cornfield. We used to go there sometimes, especially during the cider festival. You're talking about Gull's Crossing, right?
We are correct.
And it's still safe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I have a knife?
I have one.
I'm not sure how much I'll be able to defend myself with it if I am set upon by hobgoblins, but it's better than nothing. Plume says, I'm not sure I feel comfortable with her going back by herself, but the most logical means of getting her back is too risky in my mind.
We can take her with us to the first other location, and if we free one or two more, that would be free.
That's true. What if so she could hide here or hide at the farmhouse, and then if we take the one that is closest in that direction, and then if we are successful, get them back to her, they can all go back to the inn together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does anyone have any food she can eat or anything while she's waiting?
Yeah.
Also,
I brought most of my belongings with me, so
Chiron says,
certainly spare food.
Chiron says, you brought a change of clothes, but you didn't bring food?
I have food.
Okay.
She hunts.
Yeah.
We're in the woods.
I still have pig meat.
It's probably mostly at the tavern, but you certainly could have brought some with you.
I did bring one day's ration.
Okay, yeah. Doesn't take much. Enough for a meal would be. Okay. So you give her some food. You escort her back as far as the village. It's like a few hundred yards.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and actually at the village, you run into the dog, which is the dog that you followed out here. And they seem to know each other. And she recognizes the dog from the village before. And she is very much more comfortable hiding out in the burnt out village with the dog than by herself. Okay. And the dog seemed pretty happy to see her. Okay. All right. So you've got to go essentially counterclockwise to get the closest next location. But you've got to go most of the way back to where the ivy was to get the directions, because they all start from his perspective. And the spell did end, by the way.
Gotcha.
So your estimate was it lasted maybe about 15 minutes.
Does anybody have navigation?
Direction sense? We not have navigation.
Okay.
Gloom says, I can enough.
Just, that might help us not have to return back here necessarily every time, but makes it harder.
Yeah, well, while we're walking, why don't I see if I could kind of plot them all out on a map? And maybe we can get... I think the thing that's going to help us the most is that they're probably going to have light.
Oh, definitely. The girls in the liquor with us, right? So they're probably going to burn all the sacrifices.
Okay. She looks at Chiron. You certainly did find us an adventure. I just had a feeling.
Okay. Nature has its ways.
Which That's just 1d6 plus 1.
I believe so. Sounds right.
Footman or horseman? I think it's D4 plus 1. 2 to 5. But easy enough to look.
I think they're both d6, 1d6 and 1d6 plus 1.
I don't think that doesn't sound right.
Horseman is 1 to 6. The other one's D6 plus 1.
The horseman's D6.
Yeah, I have
Footman's D6 plus 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the pick.
You pick your way through the woods.
It's D4 plus 1.
You have 3 horses. You follow the directions. And basically, from where the ivy was, you're heading southwest, which puts the deserted village up the hill to the right, which is up the hill to the east. The horses are still kind of fidgety. They're by no means their spirit broken. Asterd is walking. Clume rides with Chiron. And following the basic the directions, after about 10 minutes or so, the only remaining direction is past the cornfield and over the ridge toward my shadow side. So you're getting close, but you don't see any fire yet.
It's probably on the other side of the ridge.
Okay. Are you just going to basically follow that path, or do you have any kind of alternative thing that you want to do? Dun, dun, dun.
Anything?
I feel like we're taking the most direct path.
That's the plan. Take the most direct. Are you lawful?
Yes.
Okay. As well, you should.
I didn't. Actually, I wouldn't have made him lawful if I didn't think it was
Necessary.
necessary to be a
Yes, and
cavalier.
now you're paying the long-term price for that choice. Okay. All right.
Good is always good.
Yeah. That was the plan. I would have made it possibly even chaotic, but
Okay. So, taking the most direct path, you cut through the cornfield. You do notice that there's no trails or paths through the cornfield, so it's not like it's been beaten down. But it is largely harvested or otherwise corn-free. There's not much corn in the cornfield. The stalks are there, but there's very little corn on any of the stalks. So it's probably been harvested. It's also not packed close together, like it's not growing close together. So it's easy enough to walk between the stalks without damaging. The horses kind of push them aside as they go, but it's not real. Stay tuned for more Lomunian adventures.